Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my Holy Grail products. So what I did was I went through my collection and I chose my absolute favorite product for each category. So I have one for each category. Other than I didn't do any tool favorites just because like when I do my eyeshadow I don't choose like one brush. So I didn't do any tool favorites, but I did do makeup products. So if you want to see my Holy Grail products, then just keep watching. So I'll start off with primer, and my ultimate favorite primer is the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. It's the one, the pink one. I just feel like it gives my makeup a really good base to sit on top of, so I feel like my foundation goes on really well whenever I use this product. So as I was saying, I feel like my makeup goes on really well when I use this as my base. So, and this is the primer that I reach for the most when I use primer. I don't always use primer. You don't have to use primer. I just more so use primer whenever I'm going to be keeping makeup on for a long time. But like, to be honest, outside of filming, I really don't wear makeup that much. So my Holy Grail foundation, which if you've been watching me for a while, this is probably no surprise, and it is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I use a mix of nude ivory and soft beige. The only downside to me is this paddle. I'm not a huge fan of the paddle. Like, it's nice in regards to when you go to mix it, you can like scoop it out, but I wish I had a pump instead of the paddle. And yeah, so I use the shade Nude Ivory and Soft Beige, and I normally mix those because this is a little bit too light, but the shades in between Nude Ivory and Soft Beige I think are a little, like, they're a little too yellow, so I just mix these so that way I get my shade. And then following in the Wet n Wild Photo Focus trend, if you will, my Holy Grail concealer is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer, and this one, as you can tell, is pretty used. I do have another one. I'm almost out of this one, but I use this in the shade Light Ivory. This is just a really, so like for me, this is less of a like brightening concealer and more of a spot concealer. So sometimes if I don't feel like putting on foundation, I'll just put, like, I'll spot conceal with this and then powder it, and then I'm good. But yeah, this is my go-to concealer. So then for powder, my Holy Grail powder is the Coty Airspun. I know mine's a little beat up, and mine's tape shut because I took it home during Christmas break, and I've been testing another powder now that I have my correct shade in that powder. So I haven't used this, but I think I have mine in just the shade Translucent, and there is the little sifter thing in here, and I take mine out just because I think it's a pain to get this powder out. And like, so I love the way this powder looks. My only complaint is that this lid doesn't screw on, so if you take this with you, you have to tape it shut. So at one point I was like, oh, I'll just tape across the top and the sides, and now the packaging is all messed up, so now I've just been taping around the edge. So I'm actually close to out of my powder, so actually I do have another one, which this is what the powder thing is supposed to look like, and this was in the shade Translucent Extra Coverage. I haven't even been like taken off the packaging yet because I think this one's just in regular translucent and this one's in extra coverage, and so I want to use up all of this one first, but I'm pretty close to out. Which this powder, hold on, I'll have to look at the one that I can actually read. This has like 2.3 ounces, so I've used this quite a bit. But yeah, this is definitely my Holy Grail powder. So then for bronzer, it is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I have it on currently. I do want to get, I know I've been saying this for a long time, but I do want to get the regular bronzer shade in this, because this one's just a little bit gray, so a lot of times I'll use it as like a contour instead of a bronzer, but I do want to get the other one. But I really like the way this blends, but I don't ever use this little thing that comes with it, because I don't even know how you would use this, because it's like a little foam thing. Yeah, I don't. And it does have a mirror if you're using this to travel, and I like that it seals and it smells really nice. I'm not normally like a coconut fan, but I like the way this smells. So for blush, my Holy Grail blush is the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in Feisty. I did get this in an Ipsy bag. I don't think they actually sell this shade normally, or if they did, they discontinued it. So I'm gonna have to try and find one eventually that's similar to this, because I really like the shade. Because this is like a nice peachy blush. It's not like, it's more pink than peachy, and it has just a slight sheen to it. But yeah, that's the blush that I use very regularly. So for highlight, I have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder in Blossom Glow. And it's a highlight I have on right now. Just a rosy-ish champagne. I find that sometimes, like, so this is like a little bit pinky. I find that some of those don't really work for me, but this one actually works really well for me. And it's a very blinding highlight, especially for a drugstore product. So next I'm going to move on to brows. And so my Holy Grail brow pencil is the e.l.f. brow pencil in taupe. I actually have like, so there's the color. I have like 3 more of these as backups. I really like that as a spoolie too. Yeah, so I have, I think, like 2 or 3 backups of this, just because this is my regular go-to brow pencil, although I have one, and it's the brow pencil I currently have in my brows that I've been liking a lot too, so I might use these interchangeably. And then for brow gel, it's the Essence Make Me Brow, and I have mine in Blondie Brows, and it is this here. Just looks like this. I think it's supposed to be like the dupe type thing for the Give Me Brow from Benefit. I just really like the way that really sets my brows down, and it's not like that it makes them crusty, but it keeps them on all day. For the eyeshadow palette, Holy Grail, it's the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons. Looks like this. More so I use the shades Almond Truffle, Mocha, Bordeaux, and I use Divinity quite a bit, but it's just a matte shade. And then I use Satin Sheets. I use those to do everyday looks, and when I'm not filming, that's pretty much what I do. I don't really do dramatic-ish things when I'm not filming, unless I'm like experimenting. But for like my everyday Holy Grail product, it would have to be the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons. Although for Christmas I did get the original chocolate bar, so I don't know if this one's gonna get like phased out or if this one's still gonna be it. So I'm gonna have to test that one a little bit and see. So for eyeliner, it is the Ciate London Starstruck eyeliner. It was limited edition, so I did get an Ipsy bag. I don't use the star stamp side. I was just using the eyeliner side, and it's a really black liner. And I've had this one for a little while, and it's still performing well, which is nice. But once it dries out, I'm gonna have to look into other Ciate eyeliners or find a new favorite eyeliner. So my Holy Grail mascara is the Voluminous Lash Paradise by L'Oreal in Blackest Black. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Too Faced Better Than Sex, which I don't know because I've never tried that mascara. It has like this curvy wand, and it's a fairly thick mascara, but I use it. I mean, I have it on right now, and this is the mascara that is normally my go-to. And then my Holy Grail lip product is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in Rebel Rose. It's like a dusty pink, and it pulls more pink on my hand. When it's on my lips, it like looks more of like a dusty pink, and it also is a little different when it dries down. But yeah, because it's almost like a dusty rose nude, if that makes sense. And then my last Holy Grail product, and it is a setting spray, and it is the MAC Fix Plus. So today when I did my makeup, I noticed it looked a little powdery. Sprayed it down with this, and now I think it looks a lot better. But yeah, this is my Holy Grail setting spray. Alright, well, that is everything for my Holy Grail makeup products. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.